What is going on, everyone? It's Ultimate Spy 53 here, and welcome to another episode of Reviewed number 161. And today, I'm going to be reviewing the movie Dumbo from 1941. So what did I think of Dumbo from 1941? Well, it's a bit racist, to be honest with you. I can see why Disney wanted to send the message of all the racism, because that was kind of the decade that racism was happening. Kind of wanted to present it in an animated form, and he did a good job with it, but it is hard to get through. There are a lot of problems with the movie in terms of the message being sent. One of the biggest issues I had with the movie, and I just couldn't get through after the second viewing of it, because I just couldn't get through it, and that was the pink elephant scene. Now, this scene was just something that I could not watch again because it's so disturbing and so fucked up. It's so... I have no idea what was happening and why it was happening. Like, you know, Timothy and Dumbo hallucinate pink elephants because they got drunk accidentally because this champagne got in the bottom of the water barrel. So, there you go. But it was like, the pink elephants just traumatize you, and it's terrifying because they have no eyes, and so it's like, it's horrible. This scene, it's just these pink elephants, and they're just wandering around. It's like the Pleasure Island scene from Pinocchio. It's just terrifying. You know, you got these pink elephants without eyes, and it's just, it is the weirdest thing ever. It's like it's so hard to get through because it's like, I don't want to watch. It's like, what am I watching? Get this out of my head, kind of thing. It's like, that's why I only watched it once. I'm like, it's just like traumatizing for life. In fact, it got so bad, that thing was so bad and so horrible that there was like an epilepsy part of it. And I'm okay with epilepsy. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I usually like to kind of look away a bit because it kind of bothers me a bit. But towards the end of the sequence, there's these flashing lights, and it's just horrible. It's mesmerizing. It's fucked up. It's just the worst thing ever, and I can't believe Disney gets away with this kind of stuff. You know, I mean, I'm not talking about nowadays. I'm talking about then. Like the 40s. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Why are they doing this? It's horrible, and I don't know why they do it. It's like, that scene, Pink Elephants, it's just like, I mean, I get it, they're drunk, so they're hallucinating these pink elephants, but first of all, why are they seeing this? And why pink elephants? I don't know what the hell is going on. It's just horrible. I really don't know why it was even in the movie in the first place. It's just, ugh. I wanted to do this movie in general because the live action remake is coming out tomorrow, and I don't know. I think that it could be good. From the trailers that I've seen, it looks like it could be a really fun movie and a very different movie than the original, because the original was really short. Like, it was just over an hour. One of Disney's shortest films, like really short. Like, they usually like feature length hour and a half. This one was just over an hour, so it was like way different. And obviously they add a lot of stuff when they remake a movie, and a lot of people are getting tired of these live action remakes, and I'm not. I'm all for it. I'm interested because it gives it a new light on the original story, and it could add to it. It could reimagine that old classic movie. A lot of these old classic Disney films are being remade, and some of them turn out to be pretty good. You know, they're full of realistic. They have really good CGI, and the trailer is really good, but I don't know how the rest of the movie will translate, because a lot of it with the original movie had a lot of discrimination and racism, obviously. A lot of things that were kind of meant to kind of be put there to show that some people can be different, but some people don't really understand that people are different. You know, they're born different. This movie, it opens with the stork, delivering the babies, and I love that part. I like that a lot. It was really sweet, although it does make you question where the storks even come from. I mean, I think there was a movie that I reviewed a while back that was about that idea, about, you know, about storks delivering babies, but like this one was about, you know, the storks delivering animals, and I still don't know where they came from. Like they get born from the, you know, the animal, and then the animal can't take care of the baby, so the storks have to do the delivering. I don't understand that. It makes no sense. It's a cartoon, so what would I know about that? But still, that was a really cute part. You know, the fact that you have a stork that is private for Jumbo, Mrs. Jumbo, who is the elephant with the pink hat on, the mother of Dumbo, and it's just so sweet. Of course, Dumbo is mute; he doesn't talk at all, except maybe for hiccuping, which is very crazy, because again, there's a lot of characters in the Disney vault, as I call it, that didn't talk. And when I say the Disney vault, I mean like old timey classics from back in the day, back in the 40s and 50s, and years ago, decades ago that came out. It's called classic Disney movies, I call it. And this was one of the movies that came out during that time. Although I think it was Disney's second movie that they made to a feature film, but it was the shortest because it was only over an hour. I think Pinocchio preceded this one, then followed by Snow White. So I think this is the third movie that they released. I can't remember. I don't know all the lists. I don't have the list of Disney films that in order about what they released, but I know this is like a Disney Vault movie. I don't know. It's a pretty short movie. You can get it done. You can watch it in like an hour. It's really short. And this movie had some comedy in it. It wasn't a whole lot, but there was a little bit of it in there. In the beginning of the movie, when the stork that is assigned to Miss Jumbo, he puts Dumbo's satchel, his little blanket full of Dumbo, on a cloud, and because it's a cartoon, it goes through the cloud, but the stork doesn't. So the stork has to constantly pick up the bundle containing Dumbo and put it back on the cloud, but it just keeps going through the cloud. But yet, the stork can sit. Maybe it's because it's so light. Maybe clouds can handle a stork because it's so light, but it can't handle a big, I don't know, 100-pound baby elephant. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But I was kind of confused, like, what's going on? Why is the stork able to be not swim through the cloud, but yeah, Dumbo is? It doesn't make any sense. But again, it's a cartoon. What do you expect is going to happen? But that was a really cute scene, very funny. I like that. And one of the things that I kind of liked about this movie that really made it feel like a cartoon, because it is a cartoon, but it proves it's more of a cartoon than any other movie like that, because it's Disney and they're very cartoon-like, especially back in the 40s and 50s and that decade when Disney was still alive. Actually, I think that the Disney classics were produced between the late 30s and the late 60s. That's like when Disney was still alive, and that was when the movies were coming out. After that, it became kind of the Disney company's job to keep making feature films, and it wasn't actually when Disney was still alive. But there's a sequence in the movie when the train goes away, goes up the hill, and it kind of, it's very cartoon-like, very cartoon. The train kind of feels like it's alive, like it has its own, personality, its own will, like a will of its own. And there's a scene where it's trying to get up the hill, and it's like, it has like issues getting up the hill, because it keeps climbing, and it's like, oh, is it gonna make it? And it does make it, but it's like, the train is alive. The train actually has strength in it. So I mean, it's a cartoon, but it's like crushing logic. Like, oh yeah, trains can totally do that. Trains are like that. I felt like that scene, that train, it had life. Like the animation gave it life. It gave it, it made it not just a train. It's actually a thing, an actual, living train. It's not even a thing, but still, I like that. It was interesting. It was cool to see that was the thing, because it made it very cartoony, which I liked a lot. And like I mentioned before, how racism was presented in the movie, it was presented in this form, an animated form, because I think Disney wanted to kind of show it, kind of represent it, because racism was a thing in the 40s, especially in the 40s. And there's a lot of things that are represented by racism and discrimination and all that kind of stuff. And it's very sad, just the way it's portrayed, but it's not as sad because it's an animated form, but at the same time it just shows you what it was like to be racist. Just kind of, because the idea of Dumbo, how he got its name, was that he was born as Jumbo Jr. I don't know where he came from, but he was just, stork given. And the elephants made fun of Dumbo for his big ears. That's the idea. And so he gets this nickname Dumbo, originally Jumbo Jr., but it became Dumbo because he's dumb. He's different because his ears are so big, and that's unusual for an elephant to have, or big ears. and so he gets discriminated and kind of it's a bit racist because it's like, oh, I don't want to be sleeping in the same haystack as him or whatever, and that's just horrible. That's just like racist right there. That's just the racism because, oh, he has bigger ears. You know, he has very unusually big ears, and so that's the way it is. And you know, it doesn't even help that he can fly. That's a different story altogether. I'll get into that later, but it just goes to show you that's a really sad part of how the 1940s were. I mean, I don't really know because I wasn't born in the 1940s, but I think what Disney was trying to do, and the movie portrayed it and kind of showed you what it was like. But I think Disney wanted to make a movie that represented what racism was like at that time, and in this way, he did it as an animated film, very short animated film, but even then, it was still like that, and it kind of shows you that, you know, oh yeah, the telephone was born differently, and therefore it's okay to treat him like that, and it does make you feel sad, but at the same time, you kind of you feel his pain, you feel Dumbo's pain, and then this mouse, this brilliant mouse, I love the hell out of this guy because he just kind of, I guess he just there to like defend Dumbo. He's so honest and so truthful, and he makes it feel like Dumbo doesn't have nowhere to go. Like he feels like there is a place where Dumbo can be, and that is being friends. You know, he's able to befriend Dumbo. Timothy Mouse, his name. It doesn't actually appear until the end of the movie, his name. But Timothy Mouse, the friendly mouse, befriends him, and that makes it feel like Dumbo actually has a place to go because what the biggest part of the movie that happens is that there's a circus day, and then these kids kind of are trying to like, you know, have fun with Dumbo, and Dumbo doesn't like that, and so then Mama Dumbo, you know, is trying to protect Dumbo because he's the mother, and then the circus people, you know, think that Jumbo has gone crazy, and so they label her as a mad elephant, and that causes her to be put in solitary confinement, which makes it impossible for Dumbo to even see her. Well, until we find out later that Timothy Mouse can actually have him visit her, which is nice. And at that point, before Dumbo could actually visit his mother, he had literally nowhere to go. Like, the elephants were making fun of him, treating him like crap, being racist, discriminating him, all this horrible stuff. And Timothy was there to, like, really show him, hey, I'm here for you, I'm your friend, you know, you don't have to be ashamed of yourself. You don't have to be in the shadows. I'm here, and that's why that character is special, because he's so great. You know, I just like him a lot. He's so fun and so honest and so truthful to his word because he's very helpful. And that's why I like him a lot. He's a mouse, obviously, so it kind of shows the relationship between elephants and mice, and it's very special. So I like Timothy a lot. He's very fun. Again, he doesn't get mentioned as a character until the very end of the movie. He doesn't actually show who he is, you know, unless you read the credits or whatever. But even then, it's really amazing character. I liked him a lot. He was very fun, and it just shows that Dumbo is not alone in this world. It's kind of shows that well, not only can Timothy help Dumbo kind of send it to the bullies of the world, kind of show that there are bullies in the world, and that Dumbo feels too afraid and too helpless to do anything about it. And so Timothy's kind of there to, like a bodyguard, like, you know, hey, say, hey, you can't do that. That's not right. You know, that's not right to you. How would you feel if you were in that position, kind of thing? And that's why Timothy just kind of respects Dumbo and, you know, treats him like a friend, which is very nice. It's very respectful. So I liked it a lot. One thing I didn't understand about this movie, and there were quite a number of things that I just was like, huh? So, when Dumbo is treated horribly, you know, becomes a clown, like, you know, he's put into clown makeup and is meant to, like, do like all these tricks and stuff, like fall off a burning house or whatever. But these clowns who are there to, like, supposedly catch them or put out the fire, they're like firefighter clowns. But they just make it worse. They make the situation a lot worse, and I think it's just there to humiliate Dumbo, to kind of show that Dumbo sucks or whatever, and they're not even trying to help Dumbo out. They're not even putting the fire out. They're like, you know, they're using the fire to their advantage to make things worse. I just didn't understand that. They're like, you know, roasting hot dogs on the fire. They're watering a plant. They're putting with gasoline in the fire. It just makes it worse. They would do all these things to make it worse, and I just kind of didn't understand it. It really made no sense. I mean, later on, yeah, we finally realized that Dumbo can fly, and then the clowns are just surprised. But like that part of the movie was like, what? They're making it worse. I think it's because they want to kind of humiliate Dumbo and discriminate him and kind of show me that he's. It's funny that he's different, and it's just kind of sad. It kind of shows you that it's sad, but at the same time, it's like, oh yeah, that they're maybe things can change, and they do change, which is very, very good. Now, one thing that I really hope makes it into the live action adaptation, which is coming out tomorrow, is the scene where Dumbo's mother basically cradles him, like gives him a swing, basically, like uses her drink to like swing Dumbo around, and it's the cutest thing ever. It's so cute. In fact, when I first saw this movie, I mean, I've only seen this a couple times in the past, so I watched it again, and I will admit, I teared up a bit. I did. I teared up a bit. It was very sweet and very adorable. It was the cutest moment in the movie. It was so adorable. I mean, yeah, sure. When Dumbo first appeared, in the bundle, he was adorable too. But when that moment when Dumbo felt helpless and felt like there was no one to turn to, and the time the mouse helped him out getting to his mother to visit her, then the mother could barely use drink because she was chained up, able to then scoop Dumbo up and then just kind of cradle him, and it was so cute. And then you have all the other animals in their confinement being done the same, having the same treatment, basically just kind of like snuggling up, and it was just so cute. It's so cute, and I just love that. I love that aspect of the movie, and I really hope that they do some kind of. I don't know if they're gonna do the same thing, because usually when it comes to live action remake, as far as I'm concerned, they don't do the exact same thing. They represent it. They do their best to like kind of translate, because again, live action from an animated movie is very difficult to do. Well, it kind of depends, I guess, but it's just a very different movie when you're looking at in live action. So I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see how that is portrayed as live action, because I haven't actually seen the movie yet. It hasn't come out yet, but I will hopefully be doing a review of it as soon as I can. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but hopefully soon. And so that was just a really, really cute moment, really, really adorable, and it's so sweet. And I really hope that they have put that in the movie, because that would be wonderful. Now, one scene that was really just awful and kind of showed you that the clowns do not care and they're just complete assholes. It's after they do the trick with Dumbo, they're doing the firehouse thing like that, and Dumbo's supposed to escape, supposed to fall off the firehouse, and ends up getting just dumped into water. Horrible. The clowns are like, oh, well, maybe you could get hurt. Like, oh, who cares? Elephants don't have feelings. They're made of rubber. It's like, no, they're animals. Of course they have feelings. It's horrible. It's like, seriously, what the hell? Talk about racism and discrimination altogether. It's like, yeah, they really don't care about elephants. They just are assholes. The clowns in that movie are just assholes. I'm not sure how that's going to be portrayed in the movie. Again, I have no idea. But from the original movie, it was just horrible. But just showing that the clowns really don't care, that they think that elephants, they're made of rubber. They're just nothing. Like, they don't have feelings. That's just mean. That's just plain mean. So I imagine they'll have something similar to that in the movie. They're probably going to translate it. Probably going to be the exact same story. They might change it. I haven't seen the movie. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see how that is portrayed in the new movie, because I imagine that racism will still be a part of the movie story, but I have no idea. One thing that I really didn't like about the movie, and it didn't really make sense to me, again, I get it, but at the same time I don't get it, it takes the entire movie, like, the end of the movie is when Dumbo finally flies. And I don't know why they were building up to that moment. Like, why would they wait the entire film just so Dumbo could fly? I mean, I maybe it was because Dumbo didn't realize he could fly. Maybe that was the reason, but at the same time, I don't really know why. Even if that's the reason, I don't know why. Like, why would they do that? Like, you get like maybe, I think it was like 3 minutes, or maybe even more than that. Maybe 3 to 5 minutes of just him flying. That's like literally all you get. And it's like, talk about Dumbo the flying elephant. Like, seriously? Ugh. It's like, you wait this long to do this, and then it becomes this. You get a little bit. I did like the fact that two things. One of which, he has this magic feather that he uses to help him control his flight or whatever. Like, the only way he can fly is he holds on to the feather. And it kind of like in the trailer that I saw for the live action movie, it's like, oh, he needs the feather to fly. Like, is that really true? Does he really need the feather to fly? It turns out in this movie that he doesn't. At all. Like, he loses the fight of, like, mid-flight, and then turns out he actually can fly because his wings are super big, and it's like, yeah, he can fly totally. I do like the fact that at the end of the movie, he spits the peanuts at the elephants that were discriminated him. Basically, because the elephants earlier in the film discriminated him, and so he's like, yeah, you assholes, and he starts to, spit at them, and it's like, that's like, yeah, revenge right there, I'd say. I feel like they're not gonna wait until the very end of the movie to make him fly in the new one, but, I don't know, I haven't seen it yet, I wouldn't know, but, I hope they don't do that. I hope he flies a lot more in the new movie. So that's all I can say about Dumbo, the original. Very nice movie, but my god, full of racism everywhere. It's very sad. But still, it's a very good movie. It really deserves a lot. I just wish that Disney hadn't put all this stuff in it that they did in the first place, like the pink elephants. Good grief, take those out. Get this away from me. But still, I can't wait for the new movie to come out. I don't know when I'll be seeing it. Unfortunately, I spent all my money at Comic-Con, so I don't have the money to actually get a ticket and see it right now. So if I do a review of it, it probably won't be like a non-spoiler review. I'll probably wait until like, I don't know, next weekend or something like that, like the week after, we'll do a short spoiler review. Not like a reviewed episode, but like a short one, so I can talk about what I thought about it with some spoilers involved, and then do the full episode later when it comes out digital and Blu-ray. For now, I think it was really nice. Very sad still. Very, there's a lot of messages being sent to the audience in this movie, and it still remains Disney's shortest movie ever, at just over an hour. So there you go. But still, I did enjoy it, and I'm gonna give this movie it wasn't horrible. It just had a lot of bad messages sent to it because of the racism and all that stuff. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. 3 points taken off because of all the stuff I found I didn't like. But that's a pretty high score anyway. That's pretty high score. I'm going to give it that. So not perfect because there's a lot of issues with it in terms of the racism, but hopefully that'll change in the new movie. Hopefully the live action will prove differently. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Reviewed. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button. I really do appreciate it. And if you're new to this channel, subscribe for more episodes of this series and another series that I do, as well as other good content. Also, make sure to hit that bell to enable alerts so you don't miss more uploads, and I'll be back next week with another episode. Alright? See ya.